now.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another Genius Days. And today we're talking about a man's wallet. What's inside your wallet? Let's talk about this topic of money. You know, traditionally, men have been kind of created in this image to be these almost these ATM machines, right? It's like they're always called upon to be resourceful, to be responsible. And there's a societal pressure based on earning for a lot of men. And so we wanted to dedicate today's episode on this. Again, the disclaimer is just, know that what we're telling you is our own experiences. Don't go around just like, you know, kind of trying out this stuff and then saying it's not working if you haven't consulted with us directly. And yeah, enjoy today's episode and don't break any laws. Let's get it. What's coming up for you guys on this topic?
Well, I think a man should always be resourceful and should, respect the hustle, respect the money. Um, a man's wallet, that's some deep personal thing, you know? It reminds me of one of Shane Smith quotes of I believe his first book on the male-female dynamics, where he says man character is important and also in the way that he earns his money. And in the way that he earns his money, I believe that's how he learns to respect it. Because every single one of the dollar bills or the amount, be it physical or digital, has a certain value, a certain trust, a certain thing it can do. And what if the wallet is just a tool to carry, the other tools? That's my take on that. Ivan.
Yeah, so I was talking about this the other day, how we're looking at the NFT world, we're looking at this space, we're looking at crypto. I'm seeing how I can really take advantage of Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is like going to be the evolution of the internet where we get to own a piece of the internet itself, right? And so I really want to take advantage of this somehow, because this is kind of like in the early days before the internet blew up, right? And a lot of people became rich, and I want to take advantage of that. So I'm thinking about these kinds of things, right? And then I'm looking at how people are buying, Bored Ape NFTs. They're buying you know, a crypto punks, the cheapest one is like 800. The cheapest one is like 100,000. Like they're not cheap. They're really, really expensive, right? Like mostly just rappers are buying this. Kylie Jenner trying to buy one the other day, but she got declined, so this is like cool space, right? And so I started thinking about like currency, right? And how why is it that people decided to put that much value on a piece of art? And in general, in the art world, right? There's, like Jay-Z says, bought a painting worth 1 million. Now this shit's worth 4 million. So why is it that people really decided to do that? And I realized like art is really clever because like if someone's like, oh bro, you owe me fucking, I don't know, $10 billion or whatever, you can literally just be like, instead of giving them cash, right, give them the piece of artwork and that's it, and you're good. And like but like on the blockchain it's just cool because like it's covered into their name, right? And so I started thinking about that, like how it's not just money that we use as currency. We can also like pay with like images, and that's like really, really cool. And then I started thinking about like my own currency, meaning like my own value. And I went in to describe it a little bit as like current and sea, and it's just like a stream that's just continuing to move and move and move. And it's either a strong current or a weak current, and so your energy is like that sea, and it is like those waves. And depending on the change, if you want to make real big changes in the world, and you want people on your side, you need to be a very big wave, a very strong wave. So this is where some of the places where I'm exploring these days, because I think it's about, like, like taking advantage of things and looking so deep into the future that you know what's going to happen, so that by the time people start getting into it, then that's when, like, that's when shit really blows up. You know what I'm saying? This is similar to like Bitcoin. Yeah, like if you would have gotten in at Bitcoin before it was even a cent, oh my gosh, you'd be a millionaire. I mean, you'd be a millionaire, but you'd have to hold on. That's for sure, right? So this is kind of like where I'm at. What about you, Film?
Man, I'm really interested in this whole NFT thing. I know Young Hero was talking about it last time. I was talking to him about, creating this like sigil for like access to like a secret society or something, and using the NFT as like an entry to that, right? So that's cool because like money represents access. Like money gives us access to different places, venues, things, people, right? And so I think it's really cool to use this as a way to almost create boundaries and lifestyles. And the way the world is moving, we're becoming like these psychic artists, right? We're able to interpret what's going to happen with this decentralization, and also like how I guess the Staples Center got named crypto.com or whatever. Like it's happening so fast, right? And it's like it's really like almost it feels like going back to it like a barter system, the way you said that we're using these images and like using art as the symbol, which is giving you this digital currency, right? Which is ones and zeros again. And it's just powerful because we are now I think the real challenge is to maintain our own true nature, and at the same time like establish a connection and not attachment to AI, right? Because if we get too attached to AI, I feel like we're just gonna go into like what they're saying is like universe 2.0 or whatever, like virtual reality world where you're just sucked into it and not even living in the real world. So yeah, I'm still exploring it, but I think there's a lot of benefit and a lot of room for opportunity in this.
Yeah, so something really cool, just go, like, stepping away a little bit from the NFT world stuff for right now. Gonna go back to it anyway. Um, but I do want to mention that, like, if you're an employee, you shouldn't consider yourself an employee. You should call yourself a businessman. And these are your clients, right? Because that is also true. That is also true. These are your clients. You're here to serve these people. These people are paying you to serve them, right? But you could either be an individual businessman who's choosing to do it to be of service here, right? Or you could just be you could be another person who just works here and is employed. Is a like, if you handle like the cash register, like, bro, like, you're handling the financial transactions that are going to be bringing profit to the whole business, bro. Like, I mean, if you're a fucking chef, you're bringing the food that people are going to love, and that's going to be the reason why people keep coming back to this restaurant, and it's going to be the reason that you got a job, right? It's like they didn't come back for just for the environment. They came back. If you're the chef, they came back for you, right? And so starting to see yourself as more powerful and giving yourself a stronger name and a stronger title, right? Of what it is that you do, right? And that it and we I think we've done this a little bit in writing reality, where like We're like we're like what's your or what I don't know where we did this, but it was about titles and like giving yourself a was it about giving your name a title to your movie or something like that? Soon
What was that?
was it about like giving your a title to your movie or something like that?
Yeah, like a genre, like a movie genre. Yeah.
No. I'm not talking about John. I meant like a title. Just because I meant don't call yourself a worker, call yourself a businessman. And you're doing business there. Technically, it's what you're doing, you know. And so
Mm,
you should refer to yourself as a businessman, no matter what it is you're doing, no matter what position you're in. I thought that was great because it's about like redefining like who you are and putting yourself in a position of power, right? And I
totally.
think my man should definitely take care of his money, for sure. Like I think that's the best. The men that get the most out of life are rich. like like not even hating, not even hating, but like for real. Like, what are you gonna fucking ask another man for fucking days off so you can go spend time with your family? Nah, man, fuck that. I want to spend time with my family. I'm gonna spend time with my family, right? And that's what it really means for me to be the motherfucking man, right? I don't know about you guys. But yo, what's on your mind?
I like what you said about, you know, doesn't matter what role you play, you can always choose to be the businessman, and how, everybody can be your client. And it just gave me a quick revelation of, oh yeah, I finished right, because I am part of the machine, I'm part of the system. And the more I benefit the system, the more I get paid. The better I play the game, the more I get rewarded. Right, Ivan?
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Man, what's coming up for me is like this idea of like a new paradigm of wealth, like a new, more conscious luxury as we become more affluent, more rich. We've got to take over the matrix in a sense from these like reptilian overlord vibe people of like the elites, right? And so it's like generating this kind of new paradigm of abundance that's a lot more running through the center of the planet rather than trying to create more separation, right? A lot of people in wealth, they try and actively create more separation from their wealth. So they're like, I'm going to live like, really far away from everybody, or they're totally enmeshed into society. They work on really tall buildings and things like this. So I think this wealth integration, this new idea of like a more spiritual connection to wealth is going to be, yeah, earth shattering, groundbreaking in a sense. But yeah, that's my thought of creating a new paradigm of wealth rather than, going with how the systems that we have in place are going to crumble. And we know that, and we're seeing that, right? So it's
Mhm.
after the dark ages is the fucking renaissance. And we're about to weave into this new paradigm of wealth. And I'm really excited to see what happens.
For sure, it's gonna be a new shift. It's gonna be a shift of wealth for sure. But it's only gonna the people who are really gonna benefit are those who are creative, and whatnot. And yeah, I mean they have it. It's like I think one of the ways to measure a man is to see how well he sees into the future, right? I think that's very important. And so like currently I'm thinking how I want to create my own NFTs and put like the thing is, do I want to put smart contracts on them? Like it because I saw like Tory Lanez, right? He became a platinum artist in 58 seconds. Like 1 million copies of his album were sold in 58 seconds, right? But there was so that's I mean that was incredible. You know, he was the fastest person to become platinum. Like that's not even a minute, bro. That's not 3 digits of seconds. It's fucking 2 digit seconds, right? And and so the cool part is that he put a smart contract that every time that like the song gets sold, like the song gets played, royalties and shit like that, they get paid, right? And so you no longer need a record label to give your music out, and you no longer need YouTube or what's it called, iTunes. Yeah, you no longer to those people who get cuts off of your money. It's gonna be person to person, and the person is gonna benefit from the transaction. They're gonna make money off of owning that piece. And so I'm thinking like I haven't refined it so well yet, but like my general idea is like make some collectible pieces, collectible NFT art, right? Sell it. Um, and each one is gonna be like for a different thing. It's gonna be for like for different kinds of coaching, right? Like this one could be for style coaching. This one can be for like mental fortitude. This one right here is like for healing. This one right here is for like food. This one here is for like exercise, right? Create them as like NFTs. I want them for relationships, right? And then sell it, make it as like a collectible item, right? And I know that like if people buy them, they're like in the future, me knowing who the fuck I am and me knowing what I'm here to do and how big I'm gonna be in the world, those pieces are gonna cost a lot of more money, you know. And so I want to create those pieces. I want to create an NFT just for my own logo, my own brand, just to have it. Fuck, I'm not gonna sell it, but the cool thing is that like it's all on the blockchain, and so you can think about that as like the internet, and it's encoded. It's like the truth is encoded in there. Like there's no lying about the blockchain. So you could literally do tickets to a concert and it would be like, oh, we were at the concert for fucking Scripps, right? And then the future, right? That it's like those ticket stubs, that like that people preserve and shit that were fucking um that it goes up in money because like it becomes valuable but just because it was like the very first thing before that person blew up or whatever kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, there's like a lot of videos of Jack Harlow. He's like when he was a young kid doing this shit. Or like right recently, the car that Tupac was killed in is selling for $1 million because it's old and because it's Tupac and it's got that story behind it. I looked at the car. If you're talking about a pure car, if you're talking about gonna go one place to the other, that hoe's not worth $1 million. I'll tell you that right now. That hoe's worth 15K, 15K at most. But the story behind it and who it was behind it gives it so much more value, like a million times more value. And so, like, I don't know if it's the real car that Tupac was in. How do I know that shit, right? They're just telling us that. But if it's on the blockchain, right, that means it'll tell you who had the car, who were the previous owners, when did they have it. You'd be like, oh, like an NFT be like, oh, Madonna had this NFT before me, or whatever, like shit like that. Like it really do be like that. So, but like there is nobody besides Gary V who like I'm really trying to apply the strategy in my life, because like let's just say Gary V's strategy, he created, you know, his V bucks, or no, they're not called V bucks, they're like V friends, yeah. And on his one of the smart contracts, it's like different ones, right? There's a smart contract, but all of them, they get lifetime access to his Gary Con. I think that's what it's called. It's like you know, it's like his own convention, right? Which is really dope. But they all get lifetime access by if they get these, and like different ones are like, oh, you can play me on ping pong. Oh, we go fishing, a 3-hour trip. Oh, like you know, different ones, different kinds, right? And so I think, like, you know, that's something really cool to get into and seeing in the future. But what are you guys are seeing for the future, like, you know, in terms of wealth building?
Bro, I had a vision for us in the future and what we were gonna do. It was like a really vivid manifestation. Like right when I woke up, like I had a hypnagogic like state. I saw Ryan like Naval Ravikant or whatever, like that kind of like an entrepreneur vibe, you know, like doing some podcast thing. I saw Ivan kind of like, you know, impact theory style, like you're doing interviews. Like I just saw you doing hella interviews, like big ones, with like film and like highly edited stuff. And I saw myself kind of like a more, how would I say, more badass version of Mind Valley almost, right? Where I'm like bringing people together in this institute type of thing. And I actually had this vision, like that's what I saw for us in my mind. Now, this might be complete bogus or it might be very accurate, but what's important is we start to challenge the conventional wisdom, right? The old school knowledge was good for that time. Now we need to change that mentality. And, you know, I almost see the world going towards a place where everything is accessible, everything is customizable, right? It's like everything can be accessorized. It's like you can make your own shoes designed how exactly you want. You can have like everything is branded you. That's what I'm seeing in the future, is we're all going to be able to customize our clothing, customize our badges, customize our, you know, I almost see those like touch screen things like they show in the movies. I definitely think we're gonna have that, where it's like, you know, just like fucking using a touch, like a giant invisible, like a transparent touchscreen type thing, and they're just moving shit around. Like I've seen that in way too many movies to not make that like that's in the collective unconscious if it's in a movie. You know, that's the way I see it. So whenever I see some sci-fi shit in a movie, I'm like, yeah, let's just wait maybe 10 years or so or whatever, you know what I mean? Some movies don't get it accurately, but the more we see these different symbols in sci-fi, science fiction, right? There's science based on it. It's science based, but then it's fiction on top, right? And so I think that, you know, magic and philosophy and spirituality begins where science ends. And so we've got to try to like kind of bridge that gap in a sense. But yeah, that was my vision, and that's what I see for the future.
What about you, Ryan?
Hmm. Well, my vision would be a bit of the opposite, where proven principles will be kept and what doesn't work will be ultimately removed. Um, I'm seeing this in the application of cloud technology. I am also a business and data consultant, so I'm seeing this where the move towards, you know, new technologies isn't necessarily completely accepted yet by everybody, because there's still a lot of testing and you know, migration that need to happen. Now, what you'll notice is a business will always dictate meeting the market. So thus, if the market wants more Bitcoin, Bitcoin becomes more valuable. NTS become more valuable. Collectibles like Funko Pops, look at this one. Vito Corleone become more valuable. Now I happened to buy this one a few weeks ago, right? And I just found out this one is worth 120 now. Like, oh, that says interesting. Maybe I should not have put it out of the box, but it does hold valid what Ivan says. Do your job as you're supposed to be doing it, with the mindset of a businessman. I'm helping improve companies, building a reputation, getting people the money they deserve. I'm the middleman. I am, but at the machine, I play the game. But also, like Ivan said, have a strategy for your wealth. Having the wallet is not enough, right? You don't stay rich by spending, you keep some of the richness, or you build wealth by investing, right? It's the same thing with health. You can go out, fuck up your health, or work out, do yoga, find the martial arts, get nutrition coaches, get impact coaches like Ivan, right? Get mental coaches like Sumit, also known as Crips, if you didn't know this by chance, and build a better life for you. Because if not for you, then for who? I mean, there's this famous saying of, if you want a good life 5 years ago, then you should have started 5 years ago, right? Because what you do today, that will result in, the fruit you pick in 5 years. Sumit, what's up?
Yeah. What Ivan said about, well, no, what you said about new innovation. I think like when there's new innovation, there's gonna be new ignorance, as Joe Nicasio says, right? And so that means that teaching these new ways, these new paradigms will also be open up more room for jobs, right? And I'm just really excited about the potential of where the workforce is really going to go to, because I mean everything nowadays is going to be focusing on attention, but what is the higher paradigm than attention? Is it inspiration? Is it, is it value? Is it, what is the new, principle? We were in the age of information, now we're in the age of attention. What is the new age? What is the golden age? And that's a question that I have. Do you guys have any ideas?
Could you repeat the question again?
So we were at the age of information and then age of
Mhm.
attention. And then what do you think is the new evolution of that? Do you think it's the age of
Um,
awakening? Do you think it's the age
It's
of
the age of communication.
yeah, yeah,
nice,
I
nice? I
agree.
like
But
that.
also the age where self-discipline and self-regulation comes into play. As Frank White said, we as a planet are ruled by Saturn, that's the god of, discipline, which is ironic because, with the modern days, we're being distracted like crazy. And the more you follow a disciplined path, towards getting something, you will get it if reflect upon it and change accordingly. That being said, if I am to choose one skill to be the best in, it has to be communication. Because with the right communication, I don't have to do a lot of work. Take on Fiverr, for example. If I get a job and I know the right people at Fiverr, I simply send out the right messages and put the people to work, and I maybe take half of the fee and pass the rest on. And it requires the right communication. Same thing for dating, same thing for business, same thing for martial arts. So I'm absolutely agreeing with Ivan says that, you know, communication is the way to your wealth. What are your thoughts on
Um,
Um,
that? Hmm?
I mean,
Go
like
ahead. Go ahead.
when we ask for money, we're doing it by communicating. And so,
Man, I got a funny story about that, man.
oh yeah,
I remember being, back in the old country of Suriname, that's in South America, and I couldn't understand the concept of asking for money. I always had in my mind, I need to work for money. Go to my dad, work for it, and then some random day around the end of, high school, he said, did I ever give you, pocket change or whatever? It's like, no, Dad, you never did. And you just fucking give me like a 50 Sudanese dollars and like, Dad, are you for real? Like, yeah, just go ahead and knock yourself out. Now gave me some, prepaid cards, before there was WhatsApp and BlackBerry, thing. And of course I went to town, bought a lot of snacks and whatever. And I remember, the gratefulness of that. Now the the it was so funny to get money out of nowhere, not per se having asked for it, but you know uh realizing that the options are there. So thus you will so I'm starting to realize again, not only if we don't ask we won't get it, but if we don't ask we don't know what options there are, right? It's like going to a restaurant and sitting down and the waiter comes and just looks at you like, man, what do you want? You're like, I don't know. Well, ask, what do we have, man? Here's the menu.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, asking and like using the voice, and like if we look back at the chakra system, what is what chamber is the throat chakra, right? It's when we look at the elements, it's the ether, right? Just like Ethereum, right? It's more than just a currency, right? It's the place that holds space for whatever else is going to come out. And so what I mean by that is like, let's take imagine like the concept of your voice, right? Being in like a bubble, and like in like a giant bubble, right? And then like all your thoughts are inside of it, right? And then in order to get your thoughts out into the world, we use our voice, right? And so it's the channel for bringing out what's inside to the outside world, right?
Bro, what you said there is so accurate because in the law of one, which is again it's a channel text, we don't really know how legit it is, but I think it's a very critical like deep dive that I did when I started to look into it. But what they say is like the chakras essentially we have been evolving through the chakras, right? In a sense,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? Where we go from root and we've been in this willpower culture for so long, and we're going to slowly go into the heart and then the throat of communication. And I think that yeah, that's really tight. And I just want to mention something like Young Hero, you mentioned Metaverse. Do you know anything about that, brother? I've just heard about it. I think it's something to do with VR and Zuckerberg. Do you want to say something on that, brother? Just explain to the audience if you know anything about it at all. I mean,
Hey, can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, so the metaverse. Sorry, one second. I just can't hear myself. Okay, can't hear you guys.
All right, can
I
you hear us?
Okay, there we go. So the metaverse. Basically, the metaverse is what Web 3.0 is. So we know what Web 2.0 is. The emergence of like social media and uh, interaction. So metaverse is going to take that to a whole nother level and incorporate VR, and just it's basically moving from the physical to um
Metaphysical.
the metaphysical. Yeah, but it's going to incorporate more than just VR. It's going to be AR. It's going to be just a place where you kind of, because right now our character, our avatar is this person, but now it's going to be more in the who we are in the metaverse, and it's going to shift into that, I believe. So um, it's going to be good. It's going to be bad. It really doesn't matter how you look at it. But it's going to come, I believe. And in terms of Mark Zuckerberg, I know some of us saw that video he made on Facebook about the Meta. So Meta is basically, it owns everything. They rebranded Facebook, and now he basically wants to create this platform combining all these things. And he bought this company called Oculus, which is like a VR company. And I watched his video with Gary V. He had like a little interview where Gary asked him questions, and yeah, I don't know what specifically you want to know about the metaverse, but I've been looking into it more on the crypto side, just because. And Soom, you said something very powerful, which was about how it goes against our nature, but if we also want to see, um, if it also provides for us and like helps us sustain ourselves, then it's um, I don't see it as wrong, because, for example, in the crypto space right now, I believe metaverse coins and gaming coins are like the wave. So yeah, no matter what I think about metaverse, I do agree with some parts, and the parts I disagree with is the um, taking samples of our flesh and our DNA and stuff just to be in this. And I don't want to be too plugged into it, because I like nature, so. But the other perspective is, if we, because we're in the early stages, so if we look into these coins like Mana, Sandbox, I know some other like altcoins. For example, there's one called Polka City that NBA ex NBA player bought, named Baron Davis. And then Lindsay Lohan like tweeted about it. So that's like, they say it's like the GTA of of the metaverse world, and it's like, I think it's dropping like next month. So anyways, yeah, so getting into these coins and like doing this can help me support my family and like be self-sustaining and maybe buy some land in the future, so that's how I look at it. And NFTs is huge. I like what Ivan said about NFTs, because even I want to like I want to do more than, it's more than just digital art, it's about using your creativity to build something to help you and like the people that invest in you. Like the example with the music thing, it's like Tory Lanez, he just dropped an album, but what people can do is they can give some of their royalties of their music, like just drop a bunch of NFTs rather than getting a label deal and giving some of their percentage away. They can take most of their percentage and give some of their percentage to their fans, and if their fans invest in them, so that way they don't need that upfront bag and they don't lose money. And the best part is now their fans make money. So this is like if you can scale it and also incorporate and seeing the blockchain to avoid like how there's a lot of sneaky stuff in the industry, artists aren't getting paid and stuff like that. Now it's like really there, and it's decentralized overall. So yeah,
Man, this is the new wave, man. Like,
new
thank you
wave.
for explaining that, man.
Yeah.
It's really
and
important.
and the other thing with the Bored Ape Yacht Club is, I heard like the value went up like crazy after that Kylie Jenner thing, and there's more celebrity notoriety, and
Yeah.
their smart contract is not just the art, it's the Bored Ape, it's like the yacht parties, you get invited to exclusive yacht parties and stuff. And like the other thing is, right now I think Gary Vee said that we value social media followers, we value the car we drive, the material things, our clothes, our image. But soon it's going to be our digital assets. It's going to be what we have in the metaverse. It's going to be how our metaverse avatar looks, and his crib and like all that. So yeah, that's my take on
Yeah,
that.
that was my whole idea also about the whole customization thing, right? I think I was definitely onto something there when I thought of that, and now you're giving me information to clarify my initial intuition. So that's really cool. Guys, we're wrapping up. Thank you so much for sharing, Ivan. I know you're not going to be with us anymore. This is your last Genius Days. Do you want to say some final words, brother, to the people, to the fans?
Yeah. My final words are be the best, fuck the rest.
Love it, bro. All right,
And
guys.
Good shit.
and hold on. And I want to say, y'all take care of yourselves.
Mm.
I'm still around. I'm still on Earth. I haven't left Earth yet, so I'm gonna be here. We ain't going nowhere. We're just taking steps towards our evolution.
Mm.
So we
Facts.
still here.
Facts, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. And yeah, God bless. May the flow be with you. And maybe we never be the same again. Fuck yeah. Peace out.